We feel something it was a little bit worse, but welcome back to driving for an ultimate driving as well. As we can see, despite seeing like I drive this must be a Chevy Camaro V6. But before we're gonna be starting in about for today's video, now let's just gonna be trying to drive what is going for about for the next race. So let's just test this vehicle, but not welcome to Westover as well. Now let's just gonna be pretty starts and we're gonna move all the way. First battle and trying to take it all over today. And I cannot believe this isn't gonna be going to about for just good conditions. Now let's just gonna be trying to slow down before this is allowed live for just only one thing. So I should be might able to get for more street racing with this vehicle. This vehicle is going to get for really stuntly fast. And as you can say, probably you just said that in the chat filter, it's going to get wild worse by not going into some other kinds of these things as well. If we're just gonna be going around here, as you can see the suspensions around by using Chevy Camaro V6, this is really gonna be causing a lot more worse than I ever imagined by using for this vehicle. When it's 2.0, that should make changes into some other kinds of chassis, but turns out it has turning worse. But the most of all, this isn't going to get for such as worst of all. And the best of all of this vehicle on this status, it works from top speeds or high speeds as rating as well. So we got a lot of credits. I got 1.8 million credits without further with notice. I could not able to buy any other vehicles as well. Nobody can use without the Black Road Blitz as well, because that calls for a Bounties. Nobody is going to be going to really start after that. This is really ridiculously dangerous as well. But unfortunately, that was perhaps it was stopped as well. So looks like I'm probably just using for this one, the Dodge Charger, as literally as one. So probably I'm like gonna be favoriting for two American cars, because perhaps this vehicle is the worst. Let's just gonna be trying to buy some vehicles, and probably that must be inside of the Westover Grand Prix. Two new cars and even a lot of them. And I should be able to say this goes on to the beast. All the way for just yet, we have two drivers, and I switching back into. I don't really think this isn't gonna be about for just many more of these things. Corvettes, and probably these goes to our very best. So probably we're not gonna be doing for many more street races as possible, and the crowds go roar. And perhaps we have one enemy, one good guy over here, and versus the Corvette, another good guy with a dominations of these things, as the race has completely started. Now, as we just tried to start already, look like right behind them, it's a little bit even the second position. As we just gonna be trying to spec it all the way out, and probably I might able to make the win, and probably these limited cars are not going to be so very handling as good as well. I don't really think the McLaren MP4 12C goes out of the race. We're very not sure. We're going to be switched out to the manual transmission, and this isn't going to be going for just a great idea. Just our second place, there must be one enemy right behind him. After it has been going to be taking for a very gone long, I won't be probably any noise to meeting isn't gonna be making for just a very no sense. This is a nonsense around from here, and I should be able to reverse, and it's gonna be under 3,000 feet away, right behind of him. I should be might able to get away from sometimes once it got almost up to 4,000 feet away from him. I should be might to get away from other kinds of a little bit of these things. Crowds go roar. And for other kinds of, for one thing, I should be probably, I'm going to get away with this thing. Now, as we're going to be trying to see, as well, we're just gonna be keeping himself very far as possible. I do not worried about for this him about McLaren MP412C. This won't be able to get for about for the fastest battle, going in around for many more reasons like this. Turns out I won't be able to get for using for about any of these vehicles, and because of the chassis have went it slightly into problem with some chassis, tires, and it's going to get me a cursed bump as well, so probably we're just going to be going all the way around here. So let's just do it for some kind of first bounties. We won't be able to get for around for another race. Won't be going to be trying to do so because even it gets much worse, and the suspensions got to feel a little bit worse in the buff for this one. So perhaps we're not changing into criminal team, or this is some kind of a suspects team. We're done in downtown dash, and the next one is the Black Road Blitz with some other kinds of midnight club racing vehicles as possible. Now I would be able to see about for this moment, if I can, I believe, to do speed and very passion. Now let's just doing something is gonna be invitations about here. Even somebody who wants to race, but unfortunately that doesn't want. If I just gonna be headed for a one restyles connection about here, but here we go. I'm going to give myself for our first bounties with some other kinds of vehicles. A V6 Camaro versus the V8 Camaro as well. Unfortunately, that never wanted to do a race again. And before, despite nobody likes to race with me, unfortunately, they might dislike for my video, but unfortunately, nobody is going to race with me. Even before that, I already said that took for so long and many minutes until that can took for in about 1 hour. No friends is gonna be joining inside of that game, and unfortunately the police wins, of course. Next we got one challenge, but unfortunately that doesn't gonna be resetting and to do like this one, and because he just literally gonna be quitting himself. But looks like we got 3 drivers and many more of these things. We got a Lotus and McLaren versus Camaro V6. I'm going to get ready for it, and as I despite using for some kind of one reason. Now let's just try to beat as many vehicles as possible by using the V6. We're good to go, and I don't think those 2 drivers are just starting against for one conclusion. I'm going to just nitrox up all the way down into the front straight, because that's why I took the lead for one reason. I despite so many things, this isn't going to be going to DNF. If somebody just got DNF for a first downtown races, which is we got our good stunt, or on good stunt as well, and the suspension is going to be trying to shaking things up as well, probably. I don't really think that the suspension is going to be bouncing off. That can cause the car to go out of control. I really don't think that the car suspension isn't going to be good as drive as well, but not long last. I see a Lotus Evora trying to go in to catch up with me, and probably we shouldn't able to get for a very much for best. I cannot believe this isn't going to be going for about for just way. Just keep on going for violence. Even a lot of these things are going street racing. Pre-first bounties isn't going to be very much as well. Now I just took the pole position to finish all the way for this race. 1869 miles driven. Probably we have just completed another race, and finally let's just do for the first bounties of all time. Now we probably were very sure that high-speed cars required. Now I wasn't gonna be very excited to put myself off in bounties. Now I'm pretty not good to go. We're not very good at this one because unlikely we're just gonna be trying to say we got an old-fashioned Mustang and the McLaren MP4C versus Camaro V6. Everybody doesn't like to do like this, so because they're always quitting like this out. McLaren MP4 12C versus Chevy Camaro. This is gonna be going to be afraid of, and looks like this is about to get my first bounties whatsoever. Let's just go to get for our first time. And then the McLaren MP4 12C is gonna be taken off the line, and the 6th gear is pretty upper handed. The McLaren MP4 12C, bad luck for just hitting the wall into that building. Until when the McLaren MP4 12C is going to catching me up once again, until that won't be able to get around for many much as possible. Now let's should be going to go straight. Now slightly out of control, but I heard McLaren MP4 12C is going to be coming our way. Now let's just see if we're doing another staff, and then we should be able to turn lately. I really think the MP4 12C is going to be strike back, but unfortunately that should be might able to take around for the 2nd place. I'll be on a hurry for this one, and I'm not sure. We just eventually got bad luck and targeted straight onto it. Now let's just switch up to the manual transmission, and looks like he's going to be stuck here in the woods. Now I could not able to get done without further notice. So even before this isn't going to be going for just more bounties to go. Even though I'm going to hit the first position, I must hit the pole position immediately. Now let's just see, the Nitrox has just left, and it has been catching up for once again. Now let's do the Nitrox after it has been one lap all over this thing. 165 miles per hour, which means I can lead it to a total chaos of my chassis. And the chassis means, please just update of the chassis of the bug fixes, or my account hasn't been charged anyways. This isn't going to be taking for a very long time, until that hits us to 5,000 feet right behind him. Looks like he was away from this thing as well, but I'm currently in the French server. So I'm quickly having my first bounties, because unfortunately we don't have any jobless things to do. Somebody just robbed a store. I think the moon has just going to be completely setting to do so. Now let's just going to be going to start braking over here, and then I should be making on to the 2nd place. Our first bounties isn't going to be to do what is quickly. So the last year of this video that we already uploaded is McLaren versus Chevrolet V6 Camaro. I should be able to slow down, but turns out it's completely out of control and against the chassis whatever we do. Turn left, almost into 5,000 feet, and now we just absolutely going to be trying to kidding out here. So looks like there must be our first bounties, even violating red lights. We're still under green lights, but until hitting all the way to 180 miles an hour, and we hit us to the finish. Wait, what about the bounties? I do not get it around here for just many more seasons about here. Now looks like the street racing isn't complete. It has been moved all the way into bounties as well. Is it the street racing is complete? And by the way, that doesn't work for any more bounties as well. Now look how I got nothing bounties as well, because turns out bounties isn't working about for street racings as well. But probably that we should be able to the end of this video as well, in the place first in Black Road Blitz as well. And that is all that I just wanted to say. Thanks for watching it about for this video, or if you don't like of this street racing, just better give us a like and subscribe and click the bell. And unfortunately that we're gonna be doing again, if that bounty works on street races, that should enable to get in the case. And about that I just heard the police cars as well. looks like that sounds is pretty possible as well. Thanks for watching, and this is gotta be Turbo Concept signing off, and for our support as 2, and I'll be see you mini lads and cookie runners all later.